Hey Tucson, this is Patrick Chamberlain with the Continental Realty team, and here is your tip of the day, Tuesday. I get this question with about half of the buyers I always get. They always want to know is how much house can I actually afford? And that's kind of a loaded question because it depends on who you ask. First, if you ask the lender is going to say that you can have 50% of your gross income as debt. So if you have no debt at all, sometimes you might be able to have 50% of your income go to your mortgage. Does that mean you should get a house that's 50% your mortgage? No. For instance, if you do that, you have no room left in your budget for any other debt. Say you want to buy a car, if you want to do something, you need a credit card, it's going to take all your money away. And you are what we call house poor because you can't afford anything in your awesome house. The other end of the spectrum is Dave Ramsey. He says that you should only do a 15-year mortgage, and that mortgage shouldn't be more than 25% of your take-home pay. That's kind of an extreme conservative side, and not a lot of people would be able to buy a house if he did listen to that advice. So you kind of want to stay somewhere in the middle. The more common is what we see is about 25% of your net pay, or your 25% of your gross income can go towards your mortgage. So, or if you look at a different way, 33% of your take-home pay can go towards your mortgage. It's kind of a good rule of thumb to be because it allows you to have other debt and still qualify for a house, and it also allows you to have some wiggle room if something does come up in your life that you're not going to be going broke because you have an expensive house payment. Another thing that's important is that we see people put everything that they have saved as a down payment when they buy a house just to get their payment down to something that they can afford. The problem with that is Murphy's Law. When you buy a house, something is going to go wrong if you don't have any money saved up. So how much money should you have saved up when you buy a house? That also depends on who you ask. But a typical rule of thumb is 1 to 3% of the sales price of your house saved up for a rainy day in case you get a water leak, the AC goes out, just common repairs that you need to do to the house. So again, how much house can you afford depends on who you ask. Lender's going to say 50% debt to income ratio is your max. Dave Ramsey is going to say 25% of your take-home pay on a 15-year mortgage. Better rule of thumb, 25% of your gross income or 33% of your take-home pay. And then how much money should you have saved aside when you buy a house? 1 to 3% of the sales price. If you guys have any questions you want me to cover in our next video, please comment below. And if you guys have any needs in the real estate that you're buying, selling, investing, please give me a call. My number is 520-345-4947. Thanks. Bye.